Hello, Charlie McGrath, wideawakenews.com. Thank you for joining me tonight. I want to share some simple facts with you, okay? We see, 400 or 500 points down on the Dow on the first of the year. We see 250, 300 points down today on the Dow on the sixth of the year, fifth of the year. Understand this, that a lot of people, myself included, have been predicting that 2016 was going to be the next collapse that occurred that caused massive global panic. Now look, I'm going to speak to people, a lot of them who've been following this channel for years, right? Who've been following it since 2010, and realize that there's some of you listening right now who are, 16, 17, 18, 20 years old, who don't realize that that this is a very, very, very easy prediction, this next crisis, this next economic terrorist event that's about to occur, because history repeats itself. And we need to remember that it was in 2008 that we had the red team in power, George W. Bush. We had, fresh on the heels of 9/11, at the beginning, another crisis event at the beginning of his administration that led to another crisis event at the end of his administration that led in Barack Obama. At that point in time, we were sitting about $7-8 trillion in national debt. And here we sit now at about pushing $20 trillion in national debt. Okay, this is what you need to realize. In the year 2000, well before when a lot of people listening to this video were born, the year 2000, when a lot of us were in our late 20s, early 30s, we had a participation rate in the workforce of 155 million people. To be exact, 154,486,271 people that were in the workforce of a country that has 20 million less citizens than it does now. In the year 2015, 149 million in a nation of 322 million. This isn't rocket science. It's a guaranteed fact. Economic collapse. Listen to me. Economic collapse is assured. It isn't maybe. It isn't, oh, well, maybe I'll stock up on ammunition and food. It is 100% guaranteed to occur. Now, the question is, in 2016, when we have Donald Trump running for president, or we have Hillary Clinton running for president, do we have the ultimate realization of the fiat currency that has leveled debt around the world at levels that are unprecedented in the history of this planet? Do we have it come crashing down in 2016, or do we wait till another election cycle? Personally, I believe you're seeing the cracks, the chinks in the armor of nations around the world having their central banks controlled by a global central bank, which is the Federal Reserve, demanding that they create more and more debt. We've seen the quadrupling of debt around the planet since 2008. We've seen the too big to fail institutions become beyond systemic. They are bigger than they've ever been before. And we see their balance sheets starting to head off the cliff. We see our Federal Reserve starting to panic on what to do. It isn't by accident, okay? There's no idiot at the Federal Reserve who is sitting there saying, we just miscalculated. We just didn't understand. We thought that things would be better by now. It's all bullcrap. They completely understood what would be happening by now. They completely and totally and 100% planned on what is coming down the road next. In 2009, I said global austerity is going to be the catchphrase that catches on to the world. I'm telling you right now, and I wasn't wrong then. We've seen austerity around the planet. If you don't think so, you can name millions of dead individuals on this planet right now because of the economic turndown in 2008 and global austerity. 1 million immigrants flooding into Europe in 1 month because of global austerity. Death, destruction, ruin, the end of civilizations that have been in existence for hundreds, if not thousands of years because of global austerity. What's happening in 2016? Global unification, global governance. This is what's on tap. You cannot have Brussels controlling the governments of the world. You cannot have global financial governance without a major shock and awe event that comes to planet Earth. How does it happen? You have the end of manufacturing, you have the end of transportation, you have the destruction of the world's, the global's leading economies, and you have it happen in rapid succession. What have we seen going into 2016? We've seen massive sell-offs. It isn't because only the value of energy is falling through the floor. It isn't because that, manufacturing and construction and retail is falling off the map in 2016, in the United States. We're seeing it because the largest economy in the world, China, the manufacturing honeypot of the earth, is starting to realize that there is no more customers for there to send their very inexpensive slave labor produced products to anymore. So what are we going to see? This is what we're going to see. A continued slowdown in energy. Energy slowdown. If you're in Canada right now, I love you Canadians. I get up there all the time. I am sorry. Without $80 a barrel oil, when we're down at $26, $20, $15 a barrel oil, you have no economy. I hope you know how to hunt moose, because that's how you're going to feed your family. If you don't have this high energy prices inside the United States, you have no reason for the Bakken oil reserve. You have no reason for the increase in income, the increase of middle class that's happened inside of the Western Midwest. Excuse me. The realization that our country has spent trillions of dollars in order to destabilize nations around the world, and now we're turning the guns of fighting terrorism inward toward the people of the United States and have no money in order to fund it, is coming home to roost. It's very, very ironic. I spent some time in China recently, and here I am in China, where the vast majority of the population, even though they're the number one economy in the world, the vast majority of the population lives in poverty. Yet, even in poverty, a nation that tries to stimulate its economy does things like build a 1,400-kilometer long high-speed rail from Beijing, China to Beijing, or to Shanghai, China, that can get you there in 3.5 hours. Yet in the United States in 2008, 2009, 2010, when shovel-ready projects were ready to go, and we spent close to $1 trillion, we have nothing to show for it except blood, sacrifice, tears, lower wages, declining middle class, and a corporate structure that is doing everything it can to milk every dime out of employees that happen to work for them. This is the situation we find ourselves in the United States. We can bullcrap ourselves all we want, because we have consumer credit. We have credit that has risen and now is declining. We have debt by students going through the roof, surpassing credit card debts for the first time, and now starting to decline. The realization is this: if you don't have a real trade, it is too late. If you don't understand the situation we're in, it is too late. If you think Donald Trump is going to lead this country to some kind of promised land, I'm sorry, you're dead wrong. You better realize what's coming down the road next. 2008 is done. Let's pretend it's over with, because in reality it is. That was a warm-up in order to set up legislation, in order to set up a populace to give government complete and utter control. They came to you hat in hand then. Corporate masters came to you hat in hand. We need you to bail us out, because if we don't, the whole system is coming down. Those days of asking for your help, they're long gone. They're long gone. Now you are going to be told what you need to do in order to survive what's coming in the very near future. If you don't believe me, look at usdebtclock.org. Look at the alternative media sites that have been calling this since 2008 and prior. There is an ultimate reckoning coming, and it has an agenda. It is by design. Global financial governance. Jean-Claude Trichet said it so many years ago. We need global financial governance in order to put this planet on the right path. This has been the goal. This has been the design, and it is coming to fruition. You can believe it. You cannot believe it. You can think that everything's going to be fine, that jobs are going to continue to grow, that the consumer economy is going to continue to flourish, that credit is going to last forever. But the reality is everything comes to an end, and there is no amount of debt that has ever been established on this planet, in the history of this planet, in the history of humanity, in the history of civilized people, for as far back as time has been kept, that it equates to what we have right now. We have a fiat currency that has buffaloed this planet into thinking everything would be okay if we just gave more and more of our freedom, more and more of our financial future to a very, very few individuals. And now it's coming home to roost. You better realize what's coming and prepare for it, because if you don't, you will be a slave to these same individuals who engineered crashes time and time again throughout history. Stories are attached. It's probably not all I got.